And this week's topic is all about self-trust. So last week in episode 7, I covered the topic of self-doubt. And if you haven't listened to that one yet, then you might like to go back and have a listen to that later, because you'll find that I'm sort of connecting all of the dots. And I've shared a number of strategies in there. But this week I'm talking all about self-trust. And this is yet another one of what I like to call strings that are attached to confidence. So, that come under that umbrella, if you like, of confidence. And whether we have confidence or don't have confidence can be underpinned by whether or not we trust ourselves. And you might be thinking, well, what does trusting myself have to do with confidence, with whether I feel confident or not? Well, the thing is, when we don't trust ourselves, it becomes a big old roadblock, a great big obstacle in our life, and in particular in our thinking, okay? And as I've already covered in previous episodes, it's our thoughts that lead to our feelings, and our feelings that lead to our actions or inactions. So the emotion of self-trust, whether you have it or don't, and in particular, what I'm talking about today, if you don't have trust in yourself, becomes a big roadblock to confidence. Because if we don't trust ourselves, quite often how this shows up in our life is that in ways like we might be scared to make decisions. We might feel scared about taking particular actions. We may second guess ourselves. We will quite often defer to other people. So, so maybe we might make a decision ourselves, but we don't take action on that until we defer to other people. And, what would you do? What do you think about this? What would you do in this situation? That kind of thing. That's an example of, someone that is experiencing a lack of self-trust. The other red flags, if you like, are we don't value our own opinion. So, along the lines of what I just said, value our own opinion. And so we constantly are asking others for their advice, and what they would do. And either that or we don't do anything. So we don't take any action. We don't want to make a decision because we just get so confused, so scared about what may or may not happen. So we just don't make a decision. And that's where procrastination comes in. So we'll, sit in procrastination. Or alternatively, we get busy. So we get busy, stuck in the busy of being busy, and basically avoiding what it is that we, want and need to take action on. So, we just get so busy doing other stuff that are just distractions and diversions to divert our time, focus, energy and attention on what it is that, essentially you're just avoiding it. Because as I've said in previous episodes, the mind's, one of the main jobs of the mind is to keep us safe. And so when all of that is going on, not only is it exhausting, incredibly draining mentally and physically, potentially, it's also limiting your life in a big way. And it's limiting, in particular, it's limiting your feelings of confidence. Because, how can you feel confident in yourself and, how you're showing up in your world if you don't trust yourself? And hopefully you can see the connections that I'm drawing. So, think about like when someone else is making a decision on your behalf, right? So that scenario where someone is making a decision on your behalf for whatever reason, and you don't trust that person. So it's someone, it could be in a job, for example, a person in authority that's making a decision on your behalf, and you don't trust that person. It's unlikely in that scenario that you would feel confident in the decision that that person is making. And it's no different with regard to yourself. So if you don't trust yourself, you won't feel confident. You won't feel confident in your decisions. You won't feel confident in your thoughts. You won't feel confident in your actions. And, like I said before, that can lead to a big old dose of procrastination and not doing. And just generally dimming your light. You're not going to show up in your life in the way that you deserve to. And when we don't show up in the way that we deserve to, we don't have the opportunity to get back, and receive from that experience. So, this lack of self-trust can lead to all kinds of things. So it can lead to, so not just procrastination, can lead to things like anxiety. So, you get anxious about making decisions because you don't trust your decisions. So that can create anxiety. It can create fears and phobias, whereby you might, just have ruminating and catastrophic thoughts about what might happen if you do trust yourself. So if you're coming from that place of self-trust, it can create, these fears and phobias and what ifs, which is really just an offshoot of anxiety as well, about what might happen if you do trust yourself. What's going to go wrong if you trust yourself? Procrastination, like I've already mentioned, so because you're too scared to make the wrong decision. Avoidance, so you just avoid because you don't trust yourself to make the right choice or decision or take the right action. You are afraid of failing. You're afraid of what's going to happen if you do fail, make a mistake, blah, 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 blah. The other thing that can come out of it is depression, because you are not following your joy. Yeah. So I don't know whether any of you are following Marissa Peer now, who was the founder, creator of Rapid Transformational Therapy, which is the therapy that I am certified in. And her definition of depression is not following your heart's desire, I think is her exact wording. And that really resonates with me. So if you are moving through life and ignoring what your heart desires, or the desires of your heart, that can lead to, low mood and on a chronic level, depression. So here's one tip. So moving on now that we've outlined all of that, here's one quick tip that'll help you to build self-trust. Well, it's not really a quick tip. I don't know why I've described it as that, because it's not. I've got a bit to cover. So it might sound obvious, but I can't even begin to tell you how much it's helped me. And so I do want to share this tip with you now. And the best part is it doesn't take any fancy tools or knowledge or expertise to be able to do it. So all you need to do is to meet yourself where you're at today in terms of, where you're at in your level of trust or lack of self-trust, and start practicing what it looks like to trust yourself. So if you are someone who doesn't trust yourself, even close your eyes and just imagine. Think in your mind, what if I trusted myself, or even if I trusted myself more, what would that look like? What would I be doing? How would I be showing up? What decisions would I be making? How would I be acting? So if that all feels too big and scary, you can break that down even, into a smaller bite-sized, approachable piece. And you can start by asking yourself some like really non-threatening, quite simple day-to-day questions like, what do I want to wear today? So making that decision, and, you know, ask yourself, make the decision, put the clothes on and feel good about that decision. Or what do I want to eat today? And, you know, listen for the response and then respond to what, you know, what thought comes up. What do I want to do today? How do I want to feel today? That's another good one. But if that is, you know, all a little bit too wishy-washy and too simple, and you wanted to push your edge a little bit more, I want you to ask yourself this question. If I didn't care about what other people think, what decision would I make right now? Because quite often what underpins this lack of self-trust is a fear of judgment, a fear of failure, fear of rejection, a fear of not being lovable, accepted, those kinds of things. So if I didn't care what other people thought, what decision would I make right now? Or if you sense, or if you know that what underpins your lack of self-trust is more of a fear of failure, if you know that about yourself, ask yourself the question, if I couldn't fail, what decision would I make right now? So ask yourself those big, important questions, and then just stay present and listen for the answer without judgment. So listening without judgment and listening with compassion. So, and just go inwards. So turning your attention and focus inwards, rather than if you're someone who is constantly projecting outwards onto, you know, whether you actually directly ask or whether you're just thinking in your own head as, you know, oh, you know, what would she do, or what would he do, or what would they want me to do? Really turn your focus and attention inwards and focus on how you respond, yeah? Not how you think anyone else would respond or what they would want you to do. And the deal breaker is it's really important to lean into that answer. Like I said before, listen to the response that comes up without judgment, okay? Don't make yourself wrong and avoid that second guessing, okay? So you've got to really be attuned and aware to what comes up and just notice what your response is, okay? So go with it and then observe what happens. And then it's just a case of practice. So like anything, when we are building something, getting better at something, starting something new, learning something new, it is a practice. So building self-trust is a practice just like anything else. Building confidence. Think of self-trust. Building self-trust is like a muscle that you've got to exercise and get it stronger, or think of it as like a building block, you know, or a house. It depends on how your brain works or what metaphors that your mind likes to respond to. So you could think of it as that you are building a, you know, a self-trust structure, you know, and what that looks like. How are you going to build that up around you? So, you know, and then that just takes practice. So there is no quick fix with these things. It does all take time, energy, focus, and practice. Okay, so be prepared to feel uncomfortable at times, you know, for it to get a little bit messy, to make mistakes, to want to give up, and absolutely to go back to those old patterns of behaviour, because that's the way that your brain is wired. You know, the brain is wired to you know, stay in what's familiar. Okay, so we need to we've got to put all of our time, energy and focus. If we're wanting to create self-trust within ourselves, we need to put our energy and focus into making self-trust familiar, okay? And you make it familiar by practice. The other way, of course, that you can make it familiar, you know, and for it to be easy and effortless, is to come and see me for an RTT session. I'm going to keep plugging it, ladies, because do you know what? It has really, it's occurred to me. I'm going to have a little sip because my throat's getting dry. it's occurred to me, I know that, like, I probably feel like at times where that I'm just, you know, putting stuff out there all the time, left, right, and centre, on all the social media. I'm talking to people, you know, I'm networking, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, I'm here in this community group and recording these trainings. I'm doing workshops, all sorts. So I feel like I'm like regurgitating this stuff all of the time. But I did some reflection the other day, and you know what? I don't think I'm showing up hard enough, because this gift that I've been given from Marissa Peer, you know, this technique, this incredibly powerful tool, rapid transformational therapy, it's incredible. And the more clients that I work with, and, you know, every time I get messages, I don't know whether you've been seeing my testimonials. Most of my time and energy goes into Instagram now. So if you're not following me on Instagram, come and jump over. But a lot of I think the majority of the posts anyway do share to Facebook as well. But there's a lot of stuff that you're missing out on, some fun stuff on Instagram. So, but you know, so sharing a lot of testimonials, like messages from clients coming in left, right, and centre about the incredible changes and transformation. And it is incredible. And so I feel that it's my duty of care to you and to anyone out there is, you know, to give you the invitation. So I'm going to keep giving you the invitation, and I'm going to keep sharing stories about, you know, not only how it's helped me, but how it is changing the lives of the clients that I have had the honour and pleasure to work with. So, because it's just freaking blows my mind every time, you know. If you are, you know, if you are serious about wanting to change, you know, to reshape your mindset, not your face. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I can't help you reshape your face, although maybe I can, I don't know. Who knows? I know that, you know, like I can help people reshape their face in terms of that they're smiling more, that they're not walking around like, you know, with this heavy weight and morose feeling. And then all of a sudden everything is uplifted, you know, their shoulders are up, their energy is up, you know, they're smiling, their inner joy that radiates out. So maybe I can help you reshape your face as well. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought, so I'm just going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode. Do you like my T-shirt, by the way? I'm just having a look at on screen now, on camera, Melrose. So that used to be a nickname of mine. So that's what attracted me to this T-shirt. And interesting, isn't it, too? Like I've spoken about this in previous episodes or posts, that the mind will, you know, the mind will go to what it wants to see. And so I've been looking for clothing that's kind of semi-on brand, you know, a bit of pink. Never used to wear pink, but it's part of my brand colours. And this Melrose, that popped out to me because that was a nickname of years gone past, which some people still refer to me by that nickname. So that reticular activating system just was zoning in on pink, and that name there popped out like a beacon. So anyway, I am waffling on now, so I'm going to say goodbye. I hope you have had a great week, and as always, let me know if you are watching and or just listening to these episodes. Stick the AirPods in. This is what I do, ladies, right? This is how, like, I just get, like, I have shit tons of content coming into my head all day, every day, because I'm listening to, you know, binge on podcasts when I'm out walking or when I'm cooking or, you know, in the shower. I want to feed my mind with the stuff that's going to help elevate me, you know, elevate my thinking. And, in turn, once we are able to master the art of elevating our thinking, we in turn elevate our life, because our thinking you know, is the trigger for our feelings, and our feelings are the trigger for our actions. And of course, our actions or our inactions are the trigger or catalyst for the results that we are getting, the outcomes that we're getting. So what is happening in your life? So make the time. If you are here in this group, if you're clicking on these videos, make the time, fit it in, stick the earphones in, listen, stop, pause, replay, take it in, journal, ask yourself the questions, and really, you know, like make this a proactive participation, an active participation. So not only proactive by hitting play and listening, but active participation. So active listening and then active doing, okay? Because otherwise, like, you're not really going to get much out of it. So, all right, that's a wrap. I mean it this time. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you next week for episode 9 of the Wednesday Wake Up Call. Bye for now.